Every time. Every time. Every time. Every time. Every time. Every time.
Hey, I'm gonna try my best to not curse because um I may use this live on a creditmarathon.net website to answer your question. Or I may just put it on my YouTube. I might just put it on my YouTube, at the YouTube page. But again, I'm trying my best to not curse and be professional. Good morning. So I was scrolling down Facebook, and I seen a couple people say that, yeah, I took my taxes and I paid off everything on my credit. Now, on the pursuit to improving your credit, we are told that, hey, or we have the notion that, hey, I'm just gonna pay everything off and that's gonna solve my problem. This account is gonna go away. Now, what I want to tell y'all is that's not true. That's not true. The debt will go away, but that account will not go away. So, for example, let's say you owe AT&T, and you owe AT&T $1,000. AT&T eventually sells your account to, let's say, ABC. Hey, good job, Lakeisha. Let's say ABC Collection now owns that AT&T bill. So you get your tax money, you think to yourself, hey, I want to improve my credit. I want to improve my financial situation. So I'm going to call ABC Collection and give them $1,000 and that account will go away. That is not true. That debt will go away, but that account will not go away. So what's going to happen is this. You call up them, and they may even offer you a settlement offer. Say, hey, you owe us $1,000, but we'll settle your account for $700. And you're thinking, wow, that's a deal. Like, that's a deal. Let me pay this account off, and this problem will go away. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is this: they're going to take your money, and they're going to report that whoever paid this account off down to zero. Your score will increase a little, but that collection account will still be there. The only thing that's going to happen is in the remarks, it's going to say paid off, or it's going to say paid after due date, or if you settle, it's going to say settle for less than amount owed. So anybody after that, when they pull your credit, they can still see that you had in the collection. So the reason why I'm telling y'all is this, because of lack of information. We are programmed to think, and I'm not saying it's morally right. Because if you legit owe AT&T, you owe them. But what I am saying is this: it's not about what's morally right. It's about what can legally be proved. And what we do with credit work is make them have to legally prove that account is yours. Is make them legally have to prove that account is yours. If they cannot prove it, they have to remove it. It is way better to get that account removed than to get that account paid off. And in most situations, it's cheaper to get it removed. It's way cheaper to get it removed. So let's say for example, you go through credit work, you go to Lexington Law, you go to whoever you go to, and they say, hey, our price is $350. For example, Credit Works price is $350. And you tell them, and you say, hey, Darrell, we'll give you $350. With that $350, I'm going to remove the whole account completely. So anybody in the credit world would never know you owe AT&T. Because you want the account deleted, removed, as if it never existed. So paying the account off is not going to solve your problem. So I want everybody to be wise and make the best financial decisions with your tax money. So don't think that you are doing it. It is mature. Don't get me wrong. It is very mature to pay who you owe. But don't think because you paid $3,000 out of your taxes or your hard-earned money to pay an account off, you are in a better position. Like, you have to be smarter, you know what I mean? And this is no insult, I'm just saying it because you're not informed. It is way better to get the account removed and deleted versus paying it off. Because if you get it removed or deleted, it stands as if that account never existed. So anybody who pulled your credit afterward would never know you owe AT&T. Yeah, exactly. So, Portia just asked, so do you remove everything or just certain things? With our service, we can pinpoint what we target. The only thing that we do not remove are open accounts. So, I want to be clear about this. That's a good question. Some people out there have a credit card that are maxed out. They are completely maxed out. You went to Capital One gave you $1,000, and you still have that card. And you say, hey, Darrell, make this card go away. I am honest and transparent. I cannot remove that maxed out credit card from your credit. I can't do that. Now, once Capital One closes that account off or sells it to somebody else, it's for a game. I am on it. But I cannot remove an open account. So, let's say, for example, the example I just used with AT&T. It is very hard to make them legally, it's very hard to prove or to make them have to prove an account isn't yours while you actively have the account. So, for example, let's say you have a car. You have a car, an auto loan, you have a car. And I dispute that account. It says, hey, this car isn't Porsche's. Remove the account. And they see you driving around in that same car that I'm saying legally isn't yours. They have a very strong case. They have a very strong case to prove that the car is yours because you're openly driving the car. Same thing with accounts. I cannot make them have to prove that. It's very hard to prove or make them have to prove that this account is yours if you actively are using the account. Yeah, and some people think that they can max the card out and I'm going to make that debt go away. I can't do that. But once that account closes, it is fair game. Evictions, yes, we can remove evictions. With that being said, on the creditmarathon.net website, I put out a document there that covers evictions, bankruptcies, garnishments, tax liens, anything that is included in public records. Anything that's included in public records. I have included that free document. So if you know for a fact you are going to take a part of the creditmarathon.net promo, and you have an eviction, a bankruptcy, child support, you have something that involves the courts or public records, go to creditmarathon.net and click on videos. There's a free document there where all you gotta do is print it out, fill in your information, and mail it out. And what that's gonna do is make it easier for us to remove your account the first try. The very first try. Now, we can still remove it without you doing that step, but I promise you, it will make the effects happen faster. It will make it happen. Yes, make sure you share this live. So, I want to save y'all some money. If you you have worked hard for a whole year, and now you have $5,000, $10,000. We not finna just give them our money if we don't have to. It is way cheaper to pay an expert to remove that account, even if you don't choose credit work. You can choose whoever you choose, as long as they're good. It is most likely probably cheaper to pay one of us to remove the account than it is to just pay the debt off. So what's going on, y'all? So let's say for example, you got your taxes and you owe $3,000 in debt. And you say, you know what? You're thinking to yourself, you know what? I'm going to be responsible. And I'm going to pay off all 10 of my collections that equal up $3,000, right? And you pay it off. Your score jumps up 20 points and you're debt free. You don't owe anybody any money. So let's say after that, after that, you're thinking to yourself, now that I paid this $3,000, everybody who's involved in credit lending will give me money. But keep in mind, even though you paid it off, the account is still there. So people know that you at some point in time or another had a collection. They still won't give you a credit card because they'll say, yeah, you paid it off, but it took you 4 years to pay it off. You paid it off, but you settled that account. It still makes you a liability to lend to. It's like having a collection is like having a felony. It's like having a felony. You could go to jail. You could go to jail and serve your time. Give your time to how do you say it? Pay your dues to society. You did your time and you did the crime. You did the time, and you're thinking you're gonna get back on the streets and your slate is wiped clean. That's the same thing as collection account. That's not what's gonna happen. Even though you got back on the street and you did your time, everybody who pulls your resume is gonna know at some point in time you went to jail, which makes you less hireable. It's the same thing with credit. It's the same thing with credit. Even though you paid your dues, paid the account off, people are gonna still know that at some point in time, whether it was last year or 5 years ago, at some point in time you owe some money and it had to go to collections for you to pay it off. You don't want that. You want the account to be removed altogether. What's going on? Hey, how you doing? Happy birthday. I'm pulling up now though. Right. Hey, make sure y'all share this live.
Every time. Credit, work with me, credit, work with me, credit, work. So hard. Every time. Credit, work with me, credit, work with me, credit, work with me, credit, work with me, credit, work with me.
Tristan on the track.
Every time.